Hello and welcome back once again. It is time for the Golden Age of DC Comics 365 Days, where I take this beloved hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. This has been surfing my coffee table ever since and is a constant source of quality comic book shop style conversation. I am so happy to have this book and to be doing a page a day talking about comic books with you. And if you're tuned in right now and you love comic books as much as I do, then you're in the right place at the right time. This is a 2004 Abrams publication. It's written and curated by Les Daniels, Chip Kidd, and Geoff Spear. You can find a link to the Amazon page in the description. You can get your own copy, play along at home, or it makes a great gift for a geek. I know. And I use this 365 Days book for its intended purpose. I cracked the book open to today's date, which is August the 28th. We look at some comic book art from an Antediluvian age. We read the blurb and then we talk about comic books. And we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. You know, tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and you'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page. Tomorrow, the golden age of DC Comics runs from 1938 until 1955. The Silver Age from 1956 until 1970. The Bronze Age begins in 1970 and runs until 1985. I'm a Bronze Age baby. And then the Copper Age begins in 1985. I get this vocabulary and terminology from the glossary of the Overstreet Price Guide. This is this year's edition. I think it's a fair and good standard to have when you're talking about the ages of comic books. They sell comic books professionally or help it, and this is a great place to start when it comes to categorizing and labeling the ages. All right, let's get to it. And also, I usually do something at the beginning of the show called the Escapism Caveat. It's about how to balance activism and advocacy with escapism and the cultural conquistadors that come with advocacy and activism when it comes to pre-existing spaces of escapism, such as comic books, sports, tabletop gaming and video gaming, church. The list goes on and on and on. So you can find it at the end of the videos now. I gave it its own video so I can decompress the subject and air it out a little bit. And you can leave a comment there too. Tell me if you think I'm full of BS. I don't know. I don't think I am. Prove me wrong. I like conversation. I like actual constructive debate. I really do. And so let's do it. Let's crack this book open. To today's date is August the 28th. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you're clobbering your problems and not being clobbered by them. Sometimes there's a choice to be made. And so it's one of my favorite all-time characters. It's Robin, the boy wonder of the Golden Age. And they're marionette puppets on strings, and he's in a duel, using foils, rapiers, and my money's on Robin in this one. He's a very, very well-trained individual. Indeed. Well, it's art by Win Mortimer from the cover of Star Spangled Comics, number 73, October of 1947. Quote, "What happens when Robin becomes a puppet in the hands of the Black Magician?" Unquote. That is the question being asked on the cover of this comic book, which for 30 issues featured solo adventures of Batman's sidekick. Seeing Robin and his antagonist suspended from strings may have given the readers a sense of déjà vu. The idea of depicting superheroes as marionettes was a popular one. Sometimes the heroes were actually shrunk down to miniature dimensions, but more often these images were simply symbolic statements about manipulation. Perhaps artists and editors enjoyed the concept of controlling characters who were more famous than they would ever be. Let's look at this art once more. I love the old Robin outfit. everything that comes after Jason Todd, especially even Tim Drake's late 80s, early 90s look, which was pretty cool and introduced a new look for Robin, including pants and boots, and actually in dark colors on top of his yellow cape. This, because it was more modern, more practical. This is, for me, the quintessential look for Robin, of the golden, silver, bronze, and copper age. For most of the copper age. By the end of the copper age, we get a new look for Robin, and which is Tim Drake's modernization, which the R has been modernized. He's been given pants, and he's been given boots, so they take away the pixie boots too. But this I was happy to have picked this up. Hey, look, advertisements on comic books for real Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, real role-play games where it wasn't a safe space. Not these fantasy worlds. No way, huh? This is a comic book that I read a lot of as a kid. I was a freshman in high school, going on to sophomore year, and I got this at the Fan Expo Boston in mid-August, along with a screeching case of con crud, which totally put a stop in my life for a good 2 weeks. I got flattened by that. But I paid $16 for this, and I'm happy to have been reunited with an old friend. This is Batman 424. So this takes place in the Copper Age. That is Robin 2, Jason Todd. And that's issue 424. That's the Comics Code Authority seal. A couple of episodes back, we actually went down the entire list of criteria of what they could and could not put in comic books. And this is probably one of my most favorite Batman stories. It's a Robin story. It's a Jason Todd story. And also, this comes 2 issues before A Death in the Family. Batman number 426 to 429. What's that? What issue is this? This is 424. See that? Yeah. A Death in the Family is where Joker kills Jason Todd, this Robin. He's only got, say, about 4 more issues to live. 3 or 4 more issues to live. This kid, right here. This character. And this kind of sets up the emotional state he's in to give you the payoff that could he have deserved this? This was a Robin that was a little unbalanced. He was angry. He wasn't the bright, jovial boy or teen wonder that Dick Grayson was. This one was bitter. He had a dark side. And he was excessive. He used excessive violence, too, that Batman called him out for several times. But this one is called. This is a standalone issue. It's called The Diplomat's Son. This was written by Jim Starlin, penciled by Doc Bright, inked by Steve Mitchell, and colored by Adrienne Roy. And Denny O'Neil was the editor at the time. This was published for October of '88. So September. August. This came out in June, July of 1988. I read this in summer camp, and a few issues later, there would be that famous toll number, that number. Does Robin live? That's not in this book. I looked for that. It was like I could have sworn it was in that. Maybe a little Mandela effect was going on, but it's called the Diplomat's Son, where Robin breaks up a gang, and he uses a lot of violence, but they also find this young woman, in this show don't tell of assault. This woman got assaulted by the diplomat's son, whose name is Felipe, and due to the diplomat's son being the diplomat's son, he gets to enjoy diplomatic immunity. So he's immune from any of the laws. So he can't be he can't be tried and convicted for this heinous crime of abusing this woman. And they end up getting Felipe in jail, and he gets sprung by his dad and his lawyers, and nothing will become of Felipe except for having to leave the country. And so much so that the poor young girl suicides. Yeah. Isn't this like, and like that's why I pointed out the Comics Code of Seal. Yeah. And the whole litany of criteria about violence, about showing people in violence, about showing, women not being fully clothed and all this stuff. So by the late 80s, the standards had shifted a bit. Let's put it that way. But by the end of this issue, look at that, Doc Savage. He's about to be leaving Gotham for good. Goodbye, United States. He says it in Spanish. And Gotham, I'll miss this lady too. And then there's Robin. Boom. Shows up on the... and then he drops... And there's Felipe. He's frightened. You can see his drinks in midair. This is all show, don't tell. This is art. You got to look at this stuff. It's not really explained to you. Look at that. He's holding his drink firmly. Then he's spooked. And he drops his drink. And all of a sudden... Robin! What happened? Robin, did Felipe fall? Or was he pushed? I guess I spooked him. He slipped. The end. And we never find out if Jason Todd committed murder in the name of justice or not. And that's something, that's one of a character trait that he will carry on even now, especially as his persona of the Red Hood. Someone that wears a bat logo and carries pistols and is okay with killing bad guys. Kind of like the DC version of the Punisher in a way. But yeah, we've been talking about Robin, because Robin is one of the best things about the golden age of DC Comics. And we've been talking about DC Comics, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here. We talk about spirituality. We talk about purpose and gratitude. I'm an ordained minister, an amateur theologian. We like to keep it spiritual here. I'm also a professional chef. We talk a lot about cooking. I got a playlist that's called What's Cooking. I'm also called the Sultan of Soup. I make soup videos. Tune in for those. They're delicious, nutritious, popular, and hopefully you can make some at home. Thank you so very much. Namaste. Good luck. Hope you have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow in the Funny Pages. Thanks. Ciao. Bye-bye.